There's debate on the question of crime.
Borders bring all types of maladies, and I think whoever promised these migrants in the caravan that they would come here and receive things that that those coyotes and others could not possibly deliver on, really showed a true lack of compassion, true lack of humanity for those individuals. You always ask me how I feel as a mother, how I feel as a woman. Let me just tell you, I feel terribly for people who are promised things that cannot be delivered upon. But it is true that drugs are pouring over our border. It is true that we need to know who lives in this country and that the president believes national security is border security. He also said that walls work. You have the El Paso example, you have Yuma, you have San Diego, and you have the secure fences vote. The president said a lot in those 3 tweets.
There were 5 tweets, but in the 5 tweets, he talked a little bit about military. He said the military will build it if it doesn't get built another way. Congress needs to approve that, so that obviously hasn't occurred just yet. But he talks about a wall is being built right now. In fact, no new concrete wall has been built, and Congress hasn't hasn't appropriated funding for any of the prototypes that he demonstrated. So will you concede that?
I was in a meeting, and would I concede what? Don't be, first of all, stop being an activist, be a journalist respectfully. It's a little bit much some days.
This is, Kellyanne, we've been to the border.
It's a little bit much some days. Be a journalist, not an activist.
Yeah, let's go through them one by one. I'm glad to.
No, I'm not going to go through them one by one because I need to go into work. But let me just say this to you. There is a wall being built, there are enhancements being built, and I just saw a picture of an example of that, 2 pictures that were provided to me by another colleague and assistant to the president. There are also the Senate bill, I believe, would have 65 miles of new wall. The $1.6 billion would I believe, would include that. I know the House bill, I know the Pelosi version is about $1.3 billion. But all that aside, the president's made very clear there are places where you can't have a physical wall. There are rivers, there's brush, but it's a wall and it's border security. He's made that clear. You just want to keep saying a wall, wall, wall. I saw ridiculous polling this morning, actually, where the polls only talked about a wall, didn't talk about border security. There are many ways to secure a border. I assume that's what Senator Hillary Clinton, Senator Barack Obama, Senator Joe Biden, Senator Chuck Schumer, and 22 other Democratic senators had in mind in 2006 when they voted for the Secure Fences Act.
Which the president called a nothing wall. He said that was insufficient. What he wants is clearly something different than what they proposed, right?
It's been insufficient because obviously it hasn't stopped imperiling our security.
Would the president settle for anything? MBS changed at all?
The president has spoken about that.
Kellyanne, the president said that if Democrats don't get through the wall, the military will build it. Is he conceding that there might be an outcome of this budget?
No, he's not conceding. He's president of the United States. He always has to have. He has to have additional options, and so I'm not going to get ahead of his meeting with the members of the leadership in Congress today, but the president is dead set on securing our border because border security is national security. And I just can't believe somebody works on the drug crisis every day. I can't believe you're going to think otherwise when they're seizing enough fentanyl to kill mostly, ICE did some of your favorite flavors want to abolish ICE. I mean, ICE and CPB, they're seizing so much of these drugs, enough fentanyl last year to have killed every man, woman, and child in this country, including all of us. And just looking the other way and pretending that's not the case and just saying wall, 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 is honestly disingenuous. In the spirit of the season, I'll just say disingenuous.
He would be open to accepting a deal that would call for less than the $5 billion in the
Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens in the meeting today. Maybe something big will happen. Maybe nothing will happen. But the president is steadfast on his first and foremost duty of keeping this nation safe, and he's doing that in many different ways. And the people that we hear from every single day feel like there's peace and prosperity, and they want that to continue. But let's look at this as a positive step forward to have these leaders here today, and a president who's shown his willingness to work across the aisle. He's doing it now with criminal justice reform, in the opioids legislation. Every single Democrat in the House voted for it. Every single Democrat in the Senate voted for it. They had to go beyond wanting Donald Trump to get a win. They needed their constituents in this country to get a win. So let's hope they see the same for border security.
Just to be clear on the tariffs.
Would you share